Namo Madhyo Shiye, Namo Su Shiye, Namo Dhamma Shiye Soha. Ge Nang Ge Chu Nang La, Jiang Zhu Ba Du Dan Li Ge Zu Jie, Da Ge Jin Ye Ji Bei Cu Nang Yi, Zhuo La Ben Jie Sang Ge Zhu Ba Shu. Ge Nang Ge Chu Nang La, Jiang Zhu Ba Du Dan Li Ge Zu Jie, Da Ge Jin Ye Ji Bei Cu Nang Yi, Zhuo La Ben Jie Sang Ge Zhu Ba Shu. Dans ce qui sont dans la, j'ai tout mandu dans les casus, dans qui tu n'es qui veut son angi, dans la benje sans dire du bonjour. Ça, j'ai vu que tu j'ai mis au temps, j'ai râlé chez ni des gambatis, ça qui j'ai dormi des loyers, je fais dans ta chez la tu bonjour, et dans le goro rana, maintenant la canne, ya ta ya. Please adjust your sitting posture to 7 meditative postures of Vairocana. I think all sentient beings have been my mothers. All sentient beings have been my mothers not just once, but for numberless times. They are as kind as my mothers of this life. Even though all kind mother sentient beings want happiness, and do not want even a small suffering. However, due to engaging wrongly with objects of adoptions and objects of abandonment, they do not experience happiness. They only experience suffering. In our minds, sincerely generate loving kindness towards all kind mother sentient beings by thinking, how nice it would be if all kind mother sentient beings want happiness. How nice it would be if all kind mother sentient beings had excellent happiness. May all kind mother sentient beings have excellent happiness. I will cause all kind mother sentient beings to experience excellent happiness. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so. Next, we generate compassion towards all suffering mother sentient beings, thinking, how nice it would be if the bodies of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue, such as physical pain, suffering, sickness, and problem caused by 4 elements. May the bodies of all suffering mother sentient beings be free from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. I will free the bodies of all suffering mother sentient beings from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so. How nice it would be if the minds of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue, such as mental suffering, fear, and coarse and subtle conceptual thoughts. May the minds of all suffering mother sentient beings be free from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. I will free the minds of all suffering mother sentient beings from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so. How nice it would be if the speech of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. Coarse and subtle negative speech, such as telling lies. May the speech of all suffering mother sentient beings be free from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. I will free the speech of all suffering mother sentient beings from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so. How nice it would be if all sentient beings, if the three doors of all suffering sentient beings were free from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. May the three doors of all suffering mother sentient beings be free from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. I will free the three doors of all suffering mother sentient beings from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so. How nice it would be if all sentient beings were free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. I will free all sentient beings from suffering and the causes of suffering. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so. Next, we generate bodhicitta, first by asking oneself, who should take on the responsibility to free all sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and of lower realms? I should take on the responsibility to free all mother sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and of lower realms. Even though I should take on the responsibility, but I do not have the ability to do so now. Who has the abilities? Those who have achieved the perfect, complete enlightenment have the abilities to do so. Therefore, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, by all means, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. Next, we generate all-encompassing yoga mind, aspiring conventional bodhicitta that thinks, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. These transform into a complete white moondies at one's heart. And the ultimate bodhicitta, that is one's mind becoming one taste with emptiness, the lack of inherent existence. That transform into a white five-pronged vajra on top of the moondies.
is the dog and water room to be cheated. To be doing
Next, we meditate for a short while on emptiness. That I exists neither inherently one with nor inherently different from the aggregates. Thus, I do not exist inherently.
is an Najitavary should be a big daughter. I was supposed to be each of them. I should to be knowledge state of which the Tomakanda points in the Jimmy was about the machine. Choosing why you so go so yes, I was come on, check what the Hinsinji, the change your rata. What try teach you the pattern inside the and say, much don't be money. You the yes, I was Chevaina. But then it's almost a country by the people that you was.
As I always say, it is very important to conjoin whatever virtues that we perform through our three doors, to conjoin it with the practice of perfections. Thus, the first practice is generosity. And generosity is the intentions of giving. So these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma that I perform through my three doors is for the sake of purifying the sufferings of all sentient beings and for achieving the happiness of all sentient beings. Next is morality. Morality is the minds of abandonment. I will listen to Dharma, contemplate and meditate on Dharma through properly abandoning my physical and verbal negativities so that they do not manifest. Next is patience. The nature of patience is an undisturbed mind. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, I will be patiently accepting whatever physical or mental hardships that occur. Next is joyous effort. Joyous effort is a mind that takes delight in virtue. So I will take delight in the virtue of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma.
Santi Pajina symbol, Santi was a sick name of confidence, but Santi was Manashi. And there's always a chief because let's say, no to the 9 or the muscle, suppose I come, you show the passage of Netherina. Yes, on the question of the words.
Next is meditative stabilization. So meditative stabilization is a mind that single-pointedly focuses on any virtuous object. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, I will single-pointedly focus my mind on the intended virtuous object and do not get influenced by conceptual thoughts and distractions.
I share the question of the share of the children, but children, Bomba Jigashba, Simbanashi, Children Mosambanashi, Children Nonjigashba, Simbanashi, the Kanda, Yatan was a con, Data Peshin Mola by Yabu Shibaina. I hear a question of the words.
Last is wisdom. Wisdom is an awareness that thoroughly distinguishes phenomena. So I will properly understand the Dharma, the meaning and the words and meaning of the Dharma that I listen to, contemplate and meditate on.
I hear the transited the Sanji Kubato, each of them can be chosen. The Kennedy, the paper to win, as I to school changes.
Set a good motivation. Set a good motivation. For the sake of all sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. For this purpose, I'm going to listen to the holy teachings and practice accordingly in order to benefit sentient beings.
Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, because it's all the but you can just get it. You can just that one's the what the teacher.
So to continue where I left off in previous class, today I'm going to talk about modes of asserting objects.
You can just show you what's that very much was a video with it. No other with that one machine. You learn dribble so she would have sent somebody. She done non dribble soon. She done non dribble so she would it. She done non dribble so she because it. You did that on that. Yes, you did. This is needable. That was she the machine with what she non dribble so. The one cheaper. This is the she does it. You can just use it. There's a second we use it.
So just like the previous schools, so Chitamatra, they also assert, as it presents their assertions in terms of basis, path, and result. Base, path, and result. They also present in the same way. So as for basis or base, then there are two. So the assertions on object and assertions on the object possessor. So modes of asserting objects refers to the assertions on the objects.
You can just show it. That's good. You can just show it. That's in some pocket. She can check. You want to talk about that. You send it soon. Send it to Shiva. When you do this one, you can just show it. You can send some back. And you are this is so sure. You can this is so sure. He's a this is so sure. That this is so somebody. I can that Shiva. You can that some. I didn't know what it is. You can just show it.
So Chitamatra, when they assert objects, they assert that all phenomena are included in three characters. So basically, all phenomena can be categorized into three divisions. So these three divisions are three characters or three natures. So, and these three characters are the first one, other power. So these are previously covered it already. So I revisit the topics that revisit this point that I mentioned before, that I mentioned in previous class. So the first character is other power, and the second one is imputed, and the third one is thoroughly established. So other power, imputed, and thoroughly established.
아까 생각에 이거를 대박서 시와들 그거 전부 쉬우죠 다들 그 거기 주시는데 앉아 와서 되게 전부 쉬우신다 이제 속도 마시야 그거 돼 내가서 소 오늘 지나셔 때는 내가 대체도를 다 간다 이제 속도 쉬어야 돼 오늘 지나셔 때 때는 내가 대체도 다 쉬어요 그다 소세 또什么 시고요 굉장히 되다
동의 기능처럼
맞아 내가 대체
오케이 하고요.
뭐 때는 거야 대체 오늘 지나셔 때는 거야 대체를 간다
So, and there is a great purpose of why Chittamatra, they categorize all phenomena into three categories or three divisions, which are other powered, imputed, and thoroughly established. So the main purpose of categorizing all phenomena in these three divisions are for the sake of ascertaining the presentations of emptiness.
그런데 오늘 지나셔 때는 내가 간디체들에서는 아마 이 연파도 뭐지 뭔지 미시가 저거래 오늘 지나셔 때는 내가 지나가서 뭐 쉽게 간디진 앞에 최왕하게 되는 생성이 있잖아요 지나셔 때는 배워라 따바이나다 비다바이나다 뭐 간디지는 항상 그때도 간다 생각이 나셔야 돼 제우 그 시험에 계속 한식적인 공부만이 되나 하고 통지의 동반이 내가 되나 보고 선자 한식 때도 있을 많이 시험을
최상직 동반이
한식 때도 동반이 나서 시험으로 와 어디
Yeah. So for the sake of ascertaining the presentations of emptiness, right? And by categorizing all phenomena that includes permanent, impermanent, and whatever thing that exists, or whatever things that exist. So by categorizing these phenomena into these three categories, then one ascertain the emptiness of all phenomena.
저거도 들으다 답변을 맞아 때가 보는데 이거 때가 보는데 시지가 때 시지기 때도 돈이 때가 보고 그래 시지 비치 손에 가서 돈이 시고래 말에 제 심내가 돈이 풀어셔야 돈이 때가 봐요 이거 말 아, 시시오게 다 생활에 가서 돈이 시키고 돈이 때가 봐야 돈이 생활 와 생활 때에 아마도 그냥 생활의东西我生活的东西把你多边你定了回来生活的我定了东把东西的啊生活我那的干啥的啊生活的生活的东西生活的问答问答的啊生活个电动问答啊我你定了回来干啥的问答的干啥问答是吧？那希望搞些电子东巴的电了多了，希望的刚才搞下的希望啊，我们特别希望自己我是到底是老板过去知道，我记下来问他的搞下去，希望的东西是，用的搞下跟他的东西，东巴的，搞下跟他的东巴，我觉得。
So regarding these three characters, the first one is other powered. So other powered. So in order to ascertain emptiness, in order to ascertain emptiness, so one must apprehend a base. One must apprehend a base, and the base here is the other powered here is the base of emptiness. So one must apprehend a base of emptiness in order to ascertain the emptiness on the basis. On that basis. So when we come to the second one, so other power is the basis of emptiness. So then we come to the second one, which is imputed. So imputed is the object of negation. So in order to ascertain the emptiness on the basis of other power, one has to negate the object of negations. So the object of negations is the imputed. And the third one is thoroughly established. So thoroughly established is the empty, is the emptiness. So that is empty of empty of the imputed, which is the object of negation. Empty of the object of negation, the imputed. So basically,用注寫啲東翻譯嚟咗。東譯嚟咗。Yeah. So it's the emptiness that is empty of the object of negations, which is the imputed.
我这对个，那希望东西下松啊，希望的，刚给东巴的，个个东西，个些更大的东巴也是希望的，个些更大的，是吧？希望东西的，希望的，公司的些，个些个东的，个些更大的，也是个些更大的，是吧？
个些更大嘅，
个些更大的，
希望嘅个些更大嘅，
我希望的个些更大的东巴，希望的个些更大的。这东巴得在用处的，是滚到地东巴的，我希望希望的，那个东巴的是呢，我想滚到个东巴的也是，我想滚到个东巴，我想滚到个东巴的，在用处效果，东巴的话，我想滚到个东巴的用处的话，
希望你的东西的话也了，
东西的，
东西的，
我想干了，
我想的，
我想干个东巴的是呢，我想滚到个也是，我想东西的，滚到个。滚到高下滚到个把的高的是呢，用的，那在里国的，
希望了店内高下多，滚到的东北那的用的，
是，我的大里头是吧？
轻松的，Yeah. So other power is the basis of emptiness. Imputed is the object of negation. Thoroughly established is the empty of the object of negations, the emptiness. Is empty of object of negations. So upon the other power, the empty of the object of negation, which is negated, is thoroughly established. So this is how it links the three characters together. So upon the basis of emptiness, which is the power, so the empty of the object of negation, which is imputed, is thoroughly established.
那我这的，那去你现在这个希望就是滚到手的，当然是现在嘛，全部休息松上，那这嘛人嘛看到我的问题，是吧？我的就是嘛，我刚说的我有了，你嘛去有了，
反正别听下的，这个说明那就
对，
行了，
我的。
那就做了。
我就说，我的，你搞的是我说，我们滚到谁看的就是呢？滚到跟身体看到，然后是多比不多的，然后是多比多的嘛，滚到身体，然后是多比多的，滚到身体是多比多的哇。
So regarding these three characters, other power, imputed, and thoroughly established, is very important in the presentations, the presentations of the tenets for Chitta Mantra. So I would like to briefly talk about the nature of these three characters. So the nature or the definitions. So the first one is the definitions of the the definitions of the imputed. So the definitions of the imputed is that which is superimposed by conceptual thoughts, apprehending it. I repeat, definitions of the imputed is that which is imputed by conceptual thoughts, apprehending it.
那滚到个身体，以外的来讲呢，有身体用去跟着弄到跟着你了，跟着这样不咯？我的，以外的印度啊，那种就滚到以外的跟着身体用去跟着弄到，把身体给我，哇。
And these imputed can be divided into two. So the first one is imputations whose character is thoroughly cut off. Repeat, imputation whose character is thoroughly cut off. And the second type of imputed is enumerated imputations. Enumerated imputations. Yeah, Chokyi Dadang, 그래서 동원이 또도 So the first one, imputation whose character is thoroughly cut off. So it basically refers to the two self, the self of person and the self of phenomena. So they are the object of negation. So when one realizes emptiness, or when one realizes selflessness of person or the selflessness of phenomena, one negates the object of negation, which is the self of person and the self of phenomena, as established by way of it, as established by having as established as having a self. So basically, when one realizes emptiness and one negates the object of negation, the object of negations are self of person and the self of phenomena. So you negate the object of negation, which is self, which is person, as established as having a self. So you realize the emptiness of it. So the person is empty of being established as having a self, and you realize the phenomena as empty of being established as having a self.
Oh, that is it. What? Senior check that the Gasha Kundasha. No, not before that, so Gasha Kunda, my Ibita Kunda Shanzo. In the shade, and the fire machine of Galas, but so big.
Senior Yongji Kunda Mai.
Oh, Senior Jim, my Ibita was not a Kunda Shabua. Bisha would Mateo, and to the Tabak Gasha, but you would Tabarwa.
Too much in Namkai, the beach.
What then the machine got soda. Kanda Senior Chichi, Rashikunda, my Ibikunda Kangade, Kanda, no Tasha. Another because I was Rasha, never could not throw. You could not make it. And Senior Chichi that make it.
So when we talk about imputations can be divided into two. Other than this way of dividing it into the imputations whose character is thoroughly cut off and enumerated imputations, it can be divided in another way, which is non-existent imputations and existent imputations. So imputations whose character is thoroughly cut off is a non-existent imputations. So other than imputed phenomena, which is not an imputation whose character is thoroughly cut off, is enumerated imputations. So anything which is not the imputation whose character is thoroughly cut off is an enumerated imputations. And these enumerated imputations is an existent imputations. Like for example, uncompounded space.
Oh, this also Kunda to the Dishua. Pigila, she wanted to Jujil, but she wanted to miss it. She wants that she wanted to decay but loaded. The ship can go that she wants chat. Then what? Group of the ship without calling the chamber she wanted what? She wants chat. She wants to miss the word.
Then we come to this, the definitions of other power. So definitions of other power is that which is produced from its cause and conditions. That which is produced from its cause and conditions. So basically, all compounded phenomena or all functioning things, they are an example. They are other power phenomena.
那么这希望的了嘛，有个小的大比希望的嘛，大比希望是你的嘛，大比希望的嘛，大比希望你，那大比希望是我的，那你比多一些的，你拿下一些，那大比希望是我你拿下一点，多一些大比希望，目的。
So, and other power can be divided into two, pure other power and impure other power. So pure other power and impure other power. So the pure other power, for example, Arya's wisdom of meditative equipoise, Arya's exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise, and Arya's wisdom of subsequent attainment. So the wisdom of subsequent attainment. And the minor signs and the major marks, the minor and major marks of a Buddha, then they are the example of pure other power. And impure other power, example, contaminated appropriated aggregates. So by observing the contaminated appropriated aggregates, afflictions, subsequently afflictions arise. And then we come to the third definitions, the definitions of thoroughly established. So the definitions is final object of observation of final object of observations by a path of purification. If thoroughly established is divided terminologically, then it can be divided into two. The first one is unchanging thoroughly established, and the second one is the unmistaken thoroughly established. So a path of purification. So this path of purification refers to sorted wisdom that directly realize emptiness. Sorted wisdom directly realizing emptiness. So the final object of observation by the path of purification is emptiness. So the final object of observation is emptiness, observed by sorted wisdom directly realizing emptiness. So by the power of meditating on emptiness, in other way of saying this is by observing the final object of observation. So which is by power of meditating on emptiness, one achieves the enlightenment.
Oh, this. That on the Telang, Jimmy or the Shinjimala, then Jimmy or the Soda, that woman that the Chibare. You know, the pony that you are only the baby. And Shinjimala be on the Soda, and the Tony and Yamba should be shit. Shinjimala be the Tony and Yamba should be shit.
So the unchanging, thoroughly established, and emptiness are mutually inclusive, and the unmistaken, thoroughly established. 그래서 진짜 말로 배 용도이나 동일한 안녕시 이 전시로 어디 샤나디 페이지다고. So yeah, emptiness and unchanging, thoroughly established are mutually inclusive. And an example for the unmistaken, thoroughly established is Arya's exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise on emptiness. So Arya's exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise on emptiness. So this is the terminological divisions of thoroughly established. So the unchanging, thoroughly established, and the unmistaken, thoroughly established. So when he says terminological divisions, it means that these two, the unchanging, thoroughly established, and the unmistaken, thoroughly established, are not the actual thoroughly established, because thoroughly established is emptiness, right? If they were the actual thoroughly established, then the unmistaken, thoroughly established, for example, has to be emptiness. However, this unmistaken, thoroughly established is not an emptiness because it is an exalted wisdom. So in the traditions of Chitamatra, they mainly refer to the sutra, so the unraveling the thought sutra, and in which it says other power lacks the entityness of productions, and this also previously we talked about it. So other power lacks the entityness of productions, imputed lacks the entityness of character, and thoroughly established lacks the ultimate entity. So I repeat, other power lacks the entityness of productions, imputed lacks the entityness of character. That one, thoroughly established, lacks the ultimate entity. So other power lacks the entityness of productions means that other power is produced from its cause and conditions, and it lacks the entity of being produced by its own power.
行吧就，那行吧就，滚到青年我里面吧，滚到青年我里面是滚到大人个成就毛都把它多你去，是吧？滚到人个成就都把它搞下来哇，滚到人个成就都把它我把你过来了，我搞下来哇，啊滚到青年我里面是滚到人个成就毛过来也是真的的，滚到人个成就毛都把它多你长了，是吧？我滚到人个成就毛都把它，滚到青年我滚到人个成就毛都把它哇。
And the imputed lacks the entityness of character. So meaning that the imputed imputed being established by what? Yeah. So the imputed being established by its own character is an object of negation. So in other words, saying this is this imputed is not established by its own power. So the imputed being established by way of its own power is the object of negations. So what it means is the imputed is not established by way of its own character. So that is what it means by imputed lacks the entityness of character. So the imputed is not established by way of its own character.
我跟到这我到底觉得我是用电脑嘛，我里面把这些我是吧？那用电脑嘛，我里面把这些那就是搞的是呢，那用的缺大我没把的，缺大我里面把这些去的，是吧？用的去大我里面吧，现在的用电脑我里面去大我里面把这些我这些我
去大我里面，
我缺大我里面吧，
Yeah, and thoroughly established lacks the ultimate entity, right? So what it means is also it also means that self of phenomena lacks the entity. 去到我里面吧咯。
用的去大我里面。
用的
去大我里面。Yes。
去到我里面吧。
Yes。
Yeah. So sorry, thoroughly established lacks the ultimate entity, right? So it also means that thoroughly established lacks the entity of self of phenomena.
我的是，我就是我记得我说现在那个这是什么结果的我说，这找不着啊，他就说就让我说青岛说的，他等到的修的，我说以前就是修的，我请你送我的，我的把他点到地方就弄不认识不的，那有些就是我说请你送的把叶的哇，人家刚刚的请你送的弄不的，请你送的丢的，他请你送的拿下的。So
there is a brief explanations about the assertions of Chitta Matra. So because those are like a foundational knowledge that we have to know in relation to Chitta Matra. So I give a brief explanations about it. So all objects of knowledge that can be included. All phenomena, all objects of knowledge are included in three characters, right? So these three characters can be further condensed into two truths. Two truths are ultimate truths and conventional truths.
Oh, change the talk on the demo to that the Madhyamaka. Kundaga Chuna. Daga Chuna, Senis on Machine, Kundaga Chuna, you made it, you know, the Shoni, but what you do. That's in the Raw. Daga Chuna, not Chuna, David. You know, the Shoni.
So just now we talk about the three characters, and imputed phenomena are not truly existent. So the imputed are not truly existent, and thoroughly established and other power phenomena are truly existent phenomena.
Oh, teacher, and the good to us. She wanted to do tuna, you do your Punta Demeris, or that's in a demeris. That's in the Gandhina. Rangan to put chance rangan to our race of that. You Gandhina, saying so which you Gandhina rangan to our race, rangan to the Taba the Mataba Gandhina, some rangan to our race. 당연히 뭐
Kangaro.
저 건강 당연히 주발에 당연히 뭐 두바이나 때문에 그래서 그냥 제가 그 단지 당연히 주발에 해서 진짜 뭐 그런 거 준다네.
So Chitta Mantra asserts that all phenomena that includes permanent phenomena or impermanent phenomena are exist or established from its own side. So all phenomena, whether it is permanent or impermanent, are established from its own side. So if a phenomenon doesn't exist from its own side, it doesn't exist. So this is asserted by Chitta Mantra.
어디시? 나는 어디 진이 som보다 시절에나 단데 뭐 유진 뉴스라 이달에나 된다된보다 군도된 뭐지 민도 따라서 거기 좀 쉬우와 시절에 된다된보다 군도된 많이 쉬우데 진이 som보다 군도된보다 된다된 많이 나오고 그래. 와, 뭐 진이 som보다 영화 용도 군도 som보다 막 된다 된보다 군도된 많이 나오고 유진 뉴스 쉬우와.
So for Chitta Mantra, when they talk about the modes of asserting objects, so all objects of knowledge can be included in the three characters as I mentioned just now, and then this can be further condensed into two divisions or two truths, so which are ultimate truths and conventional truths. So as I said, the three characters can be further condensed into two truths, right? So thoroughly established is included in ultimate truth, and phenomena other than thoroughly established, so which are other powered and included ones, so they are included in the conventional truths. So regarding these three characters, if you were to refer to other sources of other books, for example, then you might encounter different translations or different terms. However, they have the same meaning. So the definitions of an ultimate truth is that which is realized by a valid direct perceiver that directly realizes it by way of the vanishing of dualistic appearances. So other translation for this is as the valid direct perceiver is direct valid cognizes. It directly realizes it in a non-dualistic way. Ultimate truth, reality, and elements of qualities. So elements of qualities, as in Sanskrit is Dhammadhatu. So elements of qualities or Dhammadhatu, and final modes of subsistence are mutually inclusive. That is
那下第是我了，有的有劲，他对吧？那我顶住吧。那下第是我了，工作跟那我要顶住吧。那下第是我了，顶住跟那我顶吧。我点长嘛努力，他看的，走啊。
Yeah. So the definitions of an ultimate truth. So it says that which is realized by a direct valid cognizer that directly realizes it in a non-dualistic way, right? So then, how say to give you a scenario is like, 背了是啦，
等到第六，
背到第六，
背下来，背记了下来，对吧？
背那听到了。And so to give you an example or to explain the meaning of this ultimate truth, to an example is like in the mind stream of an Arya Bodhisattvas. 去小的南行，同意，Oh yeah. So in the mind stream of an Arya Bodhisattvas, directly realizes emptiness. Sorry. Exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise on emptiness in the mind stream of an Arya Bodhisattvas, directly realizing emptiness in a non-dualistic way. So like pouring water into water. So in a non-dualistic way means that for the perceptions of that exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise. So there is no appearance of object and subject. Sorry, there is no object and subject appearing as substantial entity. There is no appearance of truly existent or truly establishment. Sorry, true establishment, and there is no appearance of conventional. There is no conventional appearance. So, in non-dualistic way, other translation is by way of the vanishing of dualistic appearance. So by way of vanishing the appearance of object and subject appearing as different substantial entity, vanishing the appearance of true establishment, and vanishing the conventional appearance for the perceptions of exalted wisdom of meditative voice.
哦，他讲的，那等到点过的，你的态度是都是参谋的，应该是全部给你那或者多把好差的，我强上这个几百，那点过，你的态度是如何？为什么？我是都应该说请是，他我是都是全部的，他发脾气了嘛的要嘛的，他看他，我等到点过我是都多中间的，发脾气了嘛的要嘛的，我是多这个全部的话，我全部的发脾气了嘛的要。 파비지다 그래서 이나 그때 파비냐샤이 소리 갔다 냐샤이 공부 동반이나 냐바샤비 지 냐샤이도 소리 한다 본소지 나와도 누구 그래 유이지 타되게 나와도 누구 그래 누구 그래 또 그래 유이지 타되게 나와 누구 그래 또 그래 본소지 나와 누구 그래 또 그래 와 또 그래 또 그래 아니 또 그래 냐샤이들이 우여로 와 게임을
정말 이도 또 그래
뭐지
So here it says ultimate truth, reality, elements of qualities in Sanskrit, Dhammatatu, and final modes of existence are mutually inclusive. So basically, the ultimate truth, reality, Dhammatatu, and final modes of existence, they are, which is realized by a direct valid cognizer that directly realizes it by way of the vanishing of dualistic appearances or in a non-dualistic appearance, in a non-dualistic manner. So, and this, that which is realized by a direct valid cognizer that directly realizes it, so realizes its emptiness. So this only exists in the Arya's mind stream. And that which vanishes the dualistic appearance is the exalted wisdom of meditative, Arya's exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise. So this Arya's exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise is the one that vanish the dualistic appearance. So by vanishing the appearance of subject and object appearing as different substantial entities, or by vanishing the conventional appearance, then realizes emptiness. So realizes emptiness in this way by vanishing the such appearances.
去当面长毛了，东西过来东西那些，是他妈起码过去，整个人说的这样子，也是好一点原因是吧？我只是反正东西嘛，东西过来也当起来，估计的这个说的，其实我的，看到的去当面长毛，我知道，这个我从自己说的，说的里面起码这一种的东西，说的起码这一种的东西的，入数一边，让你就让个自己这边懂吧。我一到，都是去当面长毛成绩的话，现在嘛的话，现在的说的这边这些东西东西当，是不是让你们就讲，让个自己这边东西东西，不去他们，
非常right.
说不下来的话。
Yeah. So there are two divisions of ultimate truths: subtle selflessness of phenomena and subtle selflessness of persons. So if subtle selflessness of phenomena are divided according to basis of emptiness, they are 20 emptinesses. So regarding these 20 emptinesses, I'm not going to explain it, and you can do some research. Then you probably will you'll find the information. So when those are condensed, they are 18. When those are condensed, they are 16. When those are condensed, they are 4 emptinesses, and so on. Examples of subtle selflessness of phenomena are an emptiness, there is form, and its form apprehending valid cognizers, emptiness of being other substances, and an emptiness, there is a form's emptiness of existing by way of its own characteristics, as a base for assigning the term form.
我的当不里头啊，刚才去当面长，刚才给当面长的，大概不行，刚才都是刚才人家这个地东北东西，现在嘛，大概我是当面查了，给当几百的，是吧？
是的，几百的。
我的那个起码才几百，他就我们现在可能，现在蛮多地方说，现在我那个几百说的，刚才给当面查了的几百几样的，刚才给当面查我的，刚才人家这个地东北东西呢，我说这地东北东西，然后。大家的我就这个东西是吧？这个问题。
An example of a subtle selflessness of person is an emptiness. There is a person's emptiness of being self-supporting or substantially existence. So emptiness of a self-sufficient, substantially existent person. I don't have another way of saying this. So it's a subtle selflessness of person. So other than Prasangika Madhyamaka, their assertions on the selflessness of persons are similar. So this school below Prasangika Madhyamaka, their assertions on selflessness of persons are similar. So the core selflessness of person is the emptiness that is empty of permanent partners and independent person. And the subtle selflessness of person is, as mentioned here in the text, is a person's emptiness of being self-supporting or substantially existent.
他讲的东西是整个忙不一样，反正这个点的话是，除了我手工这个点的东西都还得，那上或者现在基本地方的话，都上头吧，这一点的话是哪里东西都是，现在的讲的连他们也是过的，别下个有吧都是有的是吧？我说东半地点多了。我说原先是这样，那行，这边的东半地点多了，可以听我的。是这个点的，我这个这个点的东半地点多的，但现在的点的把人的人家好也是过的，对，这个就是有的出点不干的这个结果嘛的去。
可以过了哦，这是了点，你东半地多一点。
东半地多。
Yeah, so when one realizes emptiness on a basis, so like for example, a form body. So when one realizes emptiness on the basis of body, so first before one realizes it, then one has to apply all sorts of correct reasoning and science and etc. So yeah, reasoning and etc. Correct reasoning and etc. in order to realize emptiness. Once one realizes emptiness in relation to body or on the basis of body, then it's easier for the same person to realize emptiness in relation to other phenomena. Then you can just apply the similar reasoning in order to realize emptiness on the basis of other phenomena. So the hardships that would take hardships that one would the hardship is lesser compared to before one realize emptiness. So after you realize emptiness, when you want to develop realizations of emptiness in relation to other objects, it is easier. So when you read other texts for the definitions of conventional truths and ultimate truths, then you might encounter different presentations of the definitions of two truths. So however, the meaning is same as that. The meaning is same as what presented by Lama Chizunba. So the definition of conventional truth and the definitions of an ultimate truth here in this text. So the meaning are the same. The definitions of a conventional truth is that which is realized by a valid direct perceiver and directly realizes it by way of being together with dualistic appearances. So other way of saying this is that which is realized by a direct valid cognizer that directly realizes it in a dualistic manner, or by way of being together with dualistic appearances. So there are two divisions of conventional truths: other powered phenomena and conventional truths that are included in imaginaries. So imaginaries is another translation for the included. So just now we talk about the three characters. One of it is the included, right? So another translation for the included is imaginaries. So there are two divisions of conventional truth. So as I meant, when I talk about the three characters, so when it's further condensed into two truths, I mentioned that other power and also the imputed are included in conventional truths, right? And then the thoroughly established is included in the ultimate truths.
都是弄起来，弄借的嘛，你那借的嘛都，你那农业到你要嘛，你那农业是去你要嘛。
So the definition of the conventional truths. So basically, a valid cognizer directly realizing a conventional truth, such as a body or a pot. So such a valid cognizer is such valid cognizer realizes it in a dualistic way. In a dualistic way, because the object the object that directly realizes it, since it is a conventional truth. So the valid cognizer realizes it in a dualistic way, or together with the conventional appearance.
我的跟到地位工作的么的是当末的希望的，你把它谈到点么的心，你把是去谈这了多的，他来说啊，当末的希望你必须谈，当末希望的必须谈，那个谈去的话，希望必须呢希望谈去的话，必须得希望谈去。那你把他，你把他的对了话，你把是谈到点么的心，你把是去了我的话，点么是跟到地位做点么是吧的话，跟到地位工作点么的，那人家点把的心里嘛是去了嘛，人家点把的心里，人家点把东西的话，人家点把东西的话，人家点把的心里去，我这刚刚都讲的跟他点的点把也是不，
人如果是去英国人了，
哦，
人家点把的心里嘛是去了，
哦，你嘛是去的，这刚才点也是不。
So the first is other power phenomena is mutually inclusive with compounded phenomena. And the second, which is imputed phenomena, is mutually inclusive with non-compounded phenomena or uncompounded phenomena other than ultimate truths. Because ultimate truth is emptiness, right? So uncompounded phenomena other than emptiness or other than the ultimate truths. So is mutually inclusive with the imputed or imaginaries.
我那个团结点把这个自闭心理的概念。你谈点把这个点比心理的偏那个呢？你的心里嘛是谈就只把这个自闭心理的偏那个也是，我知道的。
So they assert that all functioning things are common basis of truly established and false. All realities are common basis, or common basis. Another way of saying this is common locus. So common basis or common locus is the same. So realities are common basis of truly established and true. And that all non-compounded phenomena or uncompounded phenomena other than emptinesses are common basis of falsely established and false.
我在这里看到了哇，那就是看到什么呢？我他就点把这个自闭心理的概念，那群里上就点把这个点比心理的概念，群里的新闻你没是点把这个自闭心理的概念，那群里呢每个给差不多差距，每个现在就成就多点把它从上。那群里动力的话是每个不会丢过的，
群里的，
群里是动力是等到几包的话，不会丢过的。但每个现在多点把它从过的，但每个现在我们说的话，群里的每个，哪个是每个人是会了呀？哪个是每个人是会了？但都是可能多点把它，但每个过来，哪怕过去的就是还可能了。
And realities are necessarily non-affirming negatives. So reality or emptiness are necessarily non-affirming negatives. And illustrations of other non-affirming negatives are similar to those presented by the Sautantikas. And regarding the non-affirming negatives, emptiness is a non-affirming negatives. And even space is also a non-affirming negative as well. An example of non-affirming negative.
那这个我们不分就点把这个自闭心理的概念上，我不谈就点把这个概念是那个的话，怎么？那个点把这个啥的，俺说我比大众满意吧，让人的这个，满意吧，我比大众满意吧，让人的这个，我大众满意吧，让人的这个的，大刚的点把这个，
都被大众满意吧，
让人的这个。自闭心理的概念吧，
你点住了，
我点住了，我不谈点把这个了，我说，我点把这个是吧，我比大众满意吧，让人这个的，大众很清楚这个的，点把这个的，我这是吧， 非的，我给经历过吧，不过这个点的多给大众一把人这个是本来就会，
Yeah. So all functioning things on a human basis truly established and false. So truly established also means that it exists or established from its own side, not being imputed by not being mere imputations by conceptual thoughts. So truly established means that it exists from its own side, not being a mere imputation by conceptual thoughts. So truly established and specifically characterized are mutually intrusive.
我到底讲的，那这时候的真没兴趣看的上，这真没兴趣看的，那我不理解，通过老师把这里，那我哪些的讲的，我也是吧，马主要是的讲的，这把你是过吧，那我哪些听了不对吧是的，那这讲的群里当中点把的没兴趣的，那群里的旁边那些是过了，那我觉得那个点把的是，那点把的是吧，
왜냐면
那些我是过了，是听了点把的。어디?
So false means that all functioning things such as body doesn't establish body doesn't establish as it appears, or it doesn't exist as it appears. So therefore is called therefore is asserted as false by Chittamatra. And that all realities are common basis of truly established and true. So true also means that in the perceptions of an exalted Arya's exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise, things exist. Things exist as it appears to perceptions of Arya's. Things exist. That which might or exist also appears to the perceptions of an Arya's exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise.
按照是说等下不等下，这跟新南西的题目啊，题目我一个来去把下下把的呢，南西比这一点的结果应该西罗讲的多嘛，那是我不是说等下不对吧？那是说等下不对，西罗讲的多嘛，那是我在这里看到，等下是现在不了啦，西罗讲的多嘛是大家下去分别的，大家那有多没得想我们大家，西罗讲的多嘛，那西罗讲的说等下不对，就是等下不对看到啊。이 나시게 티모모 레지 바샤샤바 때문에 나시비 지스테네 제바 예세 다수소 대나보다 간다 시바게 원시도 저게 또 어디 간다 근데 왠지 나시 때도 바샤 유다 유진이가데 바샤 내리 바샤 지세도지 간다 두바지 레마도 바샤 내리 지세도지 뭐이바 요 코란 원에 이들이 두바레스나 말해서 보다 간다 와 니네 바샤 지세도 유튜버레스
얘네기 바샤데 세도
니네 바샤 지세도 세비도치 나 군지나기 바샤는 내공원에서는 레지샷 바샤는 다 리얼 거고
군신남시라
군지나시 때문에
나때
생각이 바샤 고시 군지에서 뭐와 바샤 고시 시요도는 군지로 와 군지서 생각이 바샤 고시
시대사대 군시당 군신남시 집어치냐로 Yeah. So the five sense objects, forms and so forth are produced based on the substantial entity of an inner consciousness in dependence upon the latencies of common and uncommon actions being placed on the mind basis of all. They are not established as external objects. Actually, 22 yeah. So establishment as an external objects is the main object of negations for Chittamatra. So when these five sense objects, form and so forth are produced, they are produced based on the substantial entity of an inner consciousness in dependence upon the latencies of common and uncommon actions being placed on the mind basis of. So these latencies of common and uncommon actions, other word for this is predispositions. So it depends upon the predispositions of common and uncommon actions being placed on the mind basis of all. So mind basis of all is the basis where the predispositions or latencies or imprints are placed or deposited. So, and one, how's it, Nyelengi pate sevi toki, nyelengi pacha de sevi toki, ni di su denzo ni di jingyo rebe.
Oh, that didn't seem to be a source of no,
Su oh,
you
su di nang tu oh.
Take on the Achas, in the Pachachi said, you need the Pachachi said to body, yes, and what if it Janchi no she, watching the Hebanaji to Paris.
Yeah, so the appearance of those five sense objects, forms, and so forth, they are they appear by the power of activating the latencies or predispositions left on the mind basis of all.
I did Mashi with the Kanda, not about the so thing about the Shiroji Tamaka to Bakane, not about the so thing about Apa Makera, the state to create that in Sheba, as it is that, what she said.
Ini di susu dan so ini tinang wate ini nanti nyeling di baca sebe toki ini tinang di orang.
Just so no what he know.
Michelle nang tu ini yang nyeling di baca lah sebe toki.
Baca sebe toki kurang sudah senang wate. Yula yukila matiba, yukila baca matiba kurang wani yang cis tapi juga yo mari esok.
Di cipol lah tema.
Oh, mesti seba sih mana ini baca. Sih. Baca de seudi ora yede yidiga tewa tewa no adi ure mato singi bacha de maseba ina ta ora ngene no adi mo maris
Din Michelle din nang ini yang
yo maris chana yo maris
din nang ni maro.
chana yo maris ini chana da shati se toji chana uri hese
su Michelle di chaya la ini yang di kasati simgi ni nyeling di baca lah yang sebe toki ini yang saya yo. Yeah, so the appearance of forms to an eye consciousness, for example, has to depends on the activations of the predispositions that left on the mind basis of all. So the appearance of an object, for example, form, doesn't appears in dependence solely depending on the object side. So it must come with the activations of the imprints of predispositions left on the mind basis of all. So together with this, the object and also the activations of the predispositions left on the mind basis of all, then the object appears to the eye consciousness, for example.
Oh, the time not about another no zibanikage and no ziba no demother no zibanikage. Shiroji the zoo tang about the Shiroji Tamari, Shiroji to Mares, and Nika Timbari, they got that since a non by nanda, non by nanda, but Shiroji turned to brother Nika Gasha, you were cheating down without Gasha, you came with the Nika, the Timbari. So tang about it. Shiroji Tamari, not by the zoo tang about the Shiroji turned to Mares. He would tell me the Rapa killing it, Rapa to Mares, that was one ship, Sarwa. What to rest? Non Sibagi Mares. Zuso tema about the rap to Maria Rapina, a rapina shidden 2 years a day, Koran, not by killing at Ibarwa. Niga Kardashian, you will marry. The Shiro turned to Bada, and that Maris, so tema about the Shiro turned to Maris.
Now, then, I'm doing that the Jiro get into Dubate killing you.
Niga de Chibaro, but I think Gasha, there are Niga, and you don't make to do a sense of it.
Yeah, so according to the true expectarians, the five sense objects, forms, and so forth are asserted to be established as gross objects, although they are not external objects. So according to the false expectarians, the five sense objects, forms, and so forth are not gross objects, because if they were established as gross objects, they would necessarily be established as external objects. So the similarity in the assertions between true expectarians and false expectarians. So they are similar in their asserting that they are not forms and so forth. They are not external objects. So whether they are a true expectarians or whether they are false expectarians, they are similar in asserting also the forms and etc. are not external objects. So not external objects, in other way of saying this is they are not established as an external object. So the difference is true aspectarians, they assert 5 sense objects are established as gross object, whereas false aspectarians, they do not assert 5 sense objects, form and so forth, as a gross object. Because for false aspectarians, if forms and so forth were to establish as gross object, then they would necessarily be established as external objects.
And should do to Maris does, this is about the big shame of your get more of share. But doing also Tamu dishing for it, since the Mangazo pay, Shiro Yuda, and the non doing institute in Mazo, Shiro Yuda Rangi, and the Sini, Nindiship, this song into what they would do. The Shiro Yuda, not a yoga to the Rangi,
on the Cherokee Yuda,
Shiro Yuda, and the Rangi Sini. Roa. The Shiro Yuda, the Rangi pay, Nindichipicala, Shiro Yuda Rangi Singi, some Nindichipicala. In the typical that non Sumundawa, those song like Reso, non Sumundawa song. Was a Shiroji Yude, in the typical. That was a Roa, in the Chiroji Yude, in the typical. That did a non Sumundawa song like Reso. You think in the typical Mundawa song. That's some in the song on it, in Mundawa, and in the typical. Up in Nanda Mundawa, this one non Sumundawa song like Reso.
So regarding these external objects, that as they do not assert the establishments as external objects. So when one's mind identify external objects, so identify external objects by saying that, oh, this is this. So identify object means that this is this, that is that. So when one's mind identify external objects, there are 3 different modes of appearances.
Otape Kada, to Pirwa, Shiro Jimani, Yobatilla, Rangi did and she is somewhat cheap. So, some of the cheap you did and some cheap because the Nancy Madawa song was Nancy Madawa so the Kada, making Pacha Wangi Noa Chida, Kadi Pacha Wangi Noa, CP along the Pacha Wangi Noa, Papa Pacha des Subachewa, Niji Pacha Wangi Noa, Kadi Pacha Wangi Noa, CP along the Pacha Wangi Noa, but the Pacha des Subo. Maruchi Wangi, the Kanda, now was a legal Kanda. No one. Watch a decibel Kangla Tini, no one you did a Miss Word, Miss with no one.
Pachasumbo Latini,
Or Pachasumbo take Karuki Latini, you can reach but no one in a Pacha decibel Karuja in no one words. Watch a thing, change it.
So when one's mind identify external objects as this is this, that is that, there are 3 different modes of appearance. So these 3 different modes of appearance are the appearance due to the predispositions of verbalizations. So appearance due to predispositions of verbalizations or verbal conventions. And the second one is appearance due to the predispositions of view of the self. Appearance due to predispositions of the view of the self. And the third one is appearance due to the predispositions of the branches of existence. Appearance due to predispositions of the branches of existence. So when an object, the appearance of an object appears, an object appears in dependence on any of these 3 predispositions. So in other way of saying this is, these 3 predispositions are the conditions for an appearance of an object.
How about that? So now the country, Chegosina, another day, Pacha Sumbo, the Winji Pacha, so what the you bet. No, the country is only to the Winji Pacha de Wangi. Ah, and then the children, the very serious people, and some of the engineer, some of the children, very the sorry, the big engine. That's really Valatin livers now. Winji Pacha, so digging about the liver as well. Winji Pacha de Sibini, but we not wash it. We not know the result.
So when an object appears in one's mind, one's mind identify this is water, this is wood, and etc. So these imputations, so this thought imputes conventional terms or verbal expressions on those objects in dependence on the first type of appearance. First type of predispositions, which is predispositions of verbalizations. So such thought, including names or including the verbal conventions on those objects as this is water, this is wood, for example. So these arise, or this comes in dependence on the predispositions of verbalizations. Or you can say that this thought arises by the power of activating the predispositions of verbalization. So basically, the predispositions of verbalizations is appearance to the appearance to a thought that imputes different verbal conventions, such as this is water, this is fire. So when this this appearance to the thought that imputes different names, has to depends on the predispositions of verbalizations. Chirogi, you do Kurane. Kurane, but Sera, singing no Jim, but Jim, whatever. Now we change it, I came with you from it. So, to do something now, you need the Chirogi turn to do what him, do some law. Get it, not that case. Sure, tell you what no. Chirogi did, and now do you need the same number like Sera Mateba, or Sera Mateba. Sera Mateba, you when it's to right or the bit, so you know, so I made all like now to go now. Now, I made all the bed, not be still, Sera, only say, I Mateba, you look about, she look, when it down, and the plan when they are to do something now. You need nowadays, Adi Basha will get no one to deal with. Sure, tell to about it, that's to do with it, you know what to do with it. Because you want it to do it, what's how? When it so not here to do it. Must say, he gala, you look about.
who's at no one here.
So the second appearance, the appearance due to the predispositions of view of the self. So again, there is an appearance of when an external object appears, then without needing to depend on one's mind, it appears. It appears from the object side. So it appears from the object side without needing to depend on one's mind. So, like for example, when a flower appears, when a flower appears, then without needing to depend on one's mind, then this flower appears to be established from the object side. The flowers appears to be established from the objects. And this is appearance due to predispositions of view of the self.
Oh, dear, what? Not the part of no dear that. Not the part of no one also to shower. CP Chang of no one. Speed along the Pacha said no one. I can't China to live up. China de running around the scene of whatever was. A CP along Pacha pig. Saying that they didn't pay Lohana much.
At the same time,
or the unit. Rana Matiba, the Lohana much. Lohana no one live. You did that. China did it. Say that people say that person Ohio much. Rosy much.
Same time, you didn't
Lohana much. Or the Lohana much. They would do. That's the thing about that.
They made to Indian.
I get double shit no man. I get the still about the what it's what no one. Not even one hour.
That's all. So the appearance due to predispositions of the branches of existence. So how's it, the mind and the object appears to be different from each other. So and this is the appearance due to predispositions of the branches of existence.
Oh, dear. I want to be we did it, but I want to know so that we did it, but I want to go to Kala. What you know to the la, we did it, but I want to know that no one to Marisco, the link Marisco. We did it, but I want to know all. There was a page you usually told me, up in a so usually told me. That Karina was not on the meadow separate and dig up what she said the digging. Some of it now, chance a day of Marisco, think it's but I will not all the little Maris, think it's but I will. No, the little Marisco.
Meadow sable
somebody or did meadow separate with the couple and those at the digging. Now, what you're they do some no delay to Marisco. Who should you got? The language but I will not live Marisco.
So the appearance due to predispositions of verbalizations. So for a small baby, this appearance, the first type of appearance, are unable to arise. So for example, when a small baby see an external objects, so there is no such appearance as this is blue flowers or this is yellow flowers to one's mind. So such appearance as a medo sebo re nangwa de some lo nang lo la de le tu marwa
Dile to Marisco.
nangwa de ni some ne so marwa
Then the other put the separate the couple emphasis and some of no one live right. No one charge. All no one charge little bit.
So such appearance thinking this is a blue this is a yellow flower, this is a white flowers, unable to arise in the baby's mind.
What did I send some of the not to the show, you not show the this one could not the when you was or you somebody unit you think in the Joa, you think in the Geneva, you can you know what Mr. Willie, no one was to live with. Wow, no one gets the means. They didn't know what they Jim out the way. I should not tend to carry to women. That thing was go. She don't tend to get. She don't tend to get what. That since I you don't make the guy, she don't tend to get cow. She tend to get guy. Now she don't tend to get it. After so, someone get the kind of Pasha disease one get paid now to watch him out. But when it's again, you crown around with it. Kanda now thinking Pacha. They say what so I tell them what they were cheap. I couldn't win it. Did you do by enough? You don't want to do enough. I should not tell the two. Say what? You tell to it. I'm not saying about it. Did not 세제 바차다 리왕게 질레오래 리왕지 질레오래 마데 리왕게 마도 그런 거는 두 가지 아니 쓰고 다가 그런 거는 들이 나와지 이거 말했어 그런 거는 들이 질레바이나 나한테 페이지를 가서 제일 마시고와
Kuna kishla, ini di kasa di chiyo tendu dhuba di, ini sensan bala di kai zowo di kaya rwa.
나한테 가셔요 또 취 남이 가셔야 돼 가셔야 돼 와
Kaya di zowo rwa. Ini di kasa yang samba ji ye, ini di yu wen ji che du, ini nangwa di yang shigo rwa.
다 나와도 시에 그랬어 나와도 마시바이나 시로 되는 뜻을 하고 거야 말 시로 되는 뜻을 하고 말 아시아 대에서 왕게 때 나서를 하고 어디 시로 되는 가리 두고도 가리 두고도 가샤 가리 이메 이 하고 그러와
Ini yang kasa baca jilat ini di kasa nangwa di
어디 그러와 나나
di nanggi goris.
나야 그래도 가서 바샤를 왕게 세도 좋게 돼 나로 가다 너지지 바샤 왕게 나와지 나티 바샤 왕게 나고 이해랑 그 바샤 왕게 도 나오고 그래 리 나오래서 왔다 간다 생각만 리 나한테 왕게 간다 아 요크랑 원에 두고 많이 봐 그래 근데 바샤 왕게 도 나오래서
Ini baca lah. So the main object of negations for Chitta Matra is the establishment as an external object, right? So when the mind identifies an object, then we must know about these three modes of appearances. These three modes of appearances are due to the predispositions of verbalizations, view of the self, and also the conscious of the existence. So if we do not know about these three appearances, then we're not able to understand the establishment as an external object, which is the main object of negations for Chitta Matra. So an appearance of object for Chitta Matra arises in dependence on the predispositions. So whether it's a predispositions of verbalizations or is a predispositions of a view of the self, for example. So without depending on any of the predispositions, things do not appear. Things do not appear from
아주 대
그래서 바샤라 디 마도바 이니 유기 원에 나와데 레주 마. 디 나와데 레기 마.
안가 이분 샤와 이나 가면 니디 수군 니는 여바이나 니디 바샤티 왕게 나와 매바이나 데 요구는 니니 하나 데 나와데 레주 말해서
나와데 레주.
나와데 맞다. 그런 거네. 누가 샤바인데 바샤티 목수가 돼 이제 보러 그런
낭이 말아.
오지 너무 말. 그런 거네 두 가지 여바이나 바샤 목수가 되지. 뭐래.
Yeah. So for Chitta Matra, the appearance of an object must depend on any of the three dispositions. So without depending on the three dispositions, even if the object is right in front of you, it doesn't appear to you.
다른 것도 치료 되는 그 봐서 맞아 신담하고 빼셔야 돼. 어디 돼. 어디 되는 오만으로 지금까지 선거를 돼. 빼셔야 맞아. 또 보바 관라 하다 미 오만하고 그 손제. 저 보바 관라 간다. 하다 미다 손 이모 다우디. 저 보바 간들라. 간다. 저 보바 간데 그런 왜래? 가라 누구요나 하면 이다 수각이 직장 공부해서 보다 가야
이모네 두기요.
그런 거는 다음 그거는 생기 바차라 뭐 대봐. 그런 거는 대가로 두요나. 하면 이다 생각이 그이나 집집아 나와. 유지나 집집아 나와. 파이나 나사인 집아 나와. 되지 고르겠어. 그때 뭐도 싫어 되도 뭐도 간다. 예 배리 대시해 버려. 그래서 다 밀어 추는 거래. 이다라 나타 나오래. 할라 디스 나오래. 이 나오디 다시 니까 소마게 따사데 일단 뭐했어. 이게 뭐가 간도와 뭐가 간도 집어 기다렸어. 뭔가 권하다 이 야로 공부했어. 공부하는데 나와야 다른 거가 생기 바샤. 여기 바샤 쉬임바. 다른 거기 우리 바샤 대세도 좀 안다와 나오려 했어. 실험 외에 두바 여바이나 성과는 직장은 오래스
Nangwa Dharmita de Nangi.
나원 나만다 내가 이제 다 바샤 대왕 수수 생기게 바샤 만다왕 바샤 만다와 대왕이 통고였어 이나와 대나와서 다 실험 외에 두바 여바를 실험 되 두바 여바를 다 대다 디시고로
So regarding this establishment as an external object, and there is a famous example mentions in the Umar, in the middleweight text. So the example is a glass of water. So three beings look at the water simultaneously. So these three beings, one is person, a human, another one is God, another one is hungry ghost. So even though they look at the same glass of water, but their different appearances appear to different beings. So for human being, the same glass of water appears to be water. For God, then the water appears to be the nectar. And for hungry ghost, it appears to be the pus and blood. So the differences in the appearance to different beings is due to the predispositions, due to the different predispositions in the three beings. So because of this, therefore, the same glass of water, even though they look at the water at the same time, this same glass of water appear to them differently. So due to the different predispositions in these three beings. So if this water were to establish, if this glass of water were to establish from the object side, then it doesn't need to depend on the predispositions in the mind stream of these three beings. Then the same glass of water will appear as water to these three beings, right, appear in the same way to three beings. However, this is not the case. So the water appears differently to different beings due to different predispositions.
that's the you now the single Bachang say doji. I know we start that the good of you didn't know it. You plan money around money. Bachawangi, no, is that Pasha, see, you know, you did the Pasha of the Rua. Indeed, Pasha, Pachawangi, you know, where a motto. Yet the vision Maniba, you crying when it Kana, Ruba, you know, we're not. Yes, Songala Hami, that's Songala Chipa Chicha now, or is. But when you take a Chipa Chicha, but I'm going to tell me that's what Chipa Chicha now, Rua. Or there, crying when it's hard, who never saw that. Bacha say to you, now rest up. Bacha Hita, good Noji Bacha, Dati Bacha, so Hitarwa. Or then I get the sing Bacha, they say, let the announce Mandawa labors. Announce Mandawa. They announce Mandawa, the region now, the Quran money. You know, when it do the top, never. Other weird.
So when an object appears, like for example, in this example is a glass of water. So when an object appears, this glass of water appears. If it were to establish from the object side, then it would appear in the same way to three beings, to human, to gods, and to hungry ghosts. Appear in the same way, appears as water to three beings. However, that is not the case. So it shows that object do not establish. Object that doesn't establish. When an object appears, it doesn't establish from the object side. It appears by the power of activating the imprints in the minds of particular beings. Therefore, the different appearances.
That condition that and patient that and the Mambu Yuri. Bashiro Tenda Maduba, that and no that no one actually tell Maduba. And that was a Minigi, Michila Tawaina, Minigi, Michila. So that mini botella, Saudi, that mini Kada Trahisio de la Tawaina, Roa, that mini de Tawaina, that meeting in Bola, Trahisio de Ponkala Nika Kwana, Trahi, it hard Roa, the hard. I told it, nearly, I think to me, so Pashawangi, 你直播的东西，你就我那些。
把这个忘记。
我说这个，把小个呀，那是基本嘛一般，一直你就我的话，然后第三，直播的东西，你的是呢，呀这个是呢，呀会没得别写的直播没关系，没得写的那忙的关系，那个那大忙的话就没，那的基本而且用这个嘛的是，所说让的，把下，所说让那个有点那我的，有点被把下谁都所说让的，这个把下，一往的就那我有了吧。我顶顶那我的，那是几百那个嘛的，那是几百那把那的，可能我那看，可能我呢，修了我呢，大家都过就过的，可能修了我呢，大家都就要不，我就话呢，那是几百那个，对，那是几百那个么多，把下来丢过多，啊，是我大概那谁就把下来，是都丢过多啊，是，对，那是几百那个么多啊，是了我，还这个也不，公司呢，这个也不忙头吧，这个有了吧。那我那个了，那我的很紧那个的，说个把下的些，对那个。
So regarding these, things do not exist as it appears. So regarding this, then there are many other famous examples as well. For example, there are two persons. Look at a person. For example, Tashi. So there are two persons. Look at Tashi at the same time. So the first person, the first seer. So due to the imprints in the mind stream of the first person, then the first seer see that this person, she appears to be a very beautiful, very handsome man, for example. And then due to the imprints of in the mind stream, the second seer, then Tashi appears to be very ugly to the second seer. So this shows these different modes of appearance shows that the external object do not establish from the objects.
我这当我的就是看到我的许多听到，许多听到，中国的主播呢，那是题目吧，那是题目啊，几个经常的根据如果的是，你主要要嘛的，强调的，那是说慢着啊，我说是个强调的，反正那的心里我经营罢了。可能强调的，我的强调有了嘛说，那的那的心里我觉得挺大的，因为我说这个，那的心里我从这，我寄从这，这里那6个月的时候是吧？强调的6个月，强调慢着话6个月的事，是吧？那的让的心里我记，
那我得当心我记了，
我心里，你我经营罢了，可能就强调的，不是6个月的时候是吧？
就是講到呢啲，其實超團隊如話，呢啲點當初啲都冇話啲嚟咯。
其實得到當然有話呢，基本幾張嚟。
超團隊做話呢？
哦，超團隊做話呢。
你哋點當初啲冇話呢？你幾間點當？
其實我哋吃多少錢呢？那什麼基本幾張嚟回是吧？
呢啲點買咧？
是超團隊都買咧是吧？
呢超團隊呢啲其實當初賺面大，然之後呢啲超團隊唔做啊？
哦，冇做啊，做啊，差唔多咯。
冇做啊啲做喎。呢啲當我當心我知啫。當我哋當我當心，其實當我當心啲我知。
我知。
Yeah. So if if things were to establish as if phenomena were to if a phenomena were to establish as external objects, then different people would the same appearance would appear to different people. However, that is not the case. So this different appearance to different peoples prove that things do not establish as an external objects. And the appearance and the mind, as the appearance and the mind are one substantial entity. They are not a different substantial entity.
What is? 나도 드린데 잘하러. 나도 괜찮아. 나 본다 드리 좋아 라마스 되지래. 지가 가지고 좋아 하기 위해서 드리 디셀로 살아서.
So sorry, it's almost the time already. So whatever questions you have, then please keep it to I will stop here. So next class, I'm going to talk about the modes of asserting object possessors. Please read the full class.
그래서 지와 제가 돈 근데 기초 하나 그때 맞지 받은 도와줘. 그래서 제가 좀 주부집이 된데 지금 또 사실은 수주가 때마다 그 굳이 제가 좀 쉬고 해봐. 근데 뭐도 니어서 빠지도 도야. 그런데 자는 유튜브 그나 봐. 시대이마다 진짜 체는 대신에 체코 위에서 비받는 산지 kuma 봐. 미드 트라이 된 리치 봐. 배상해 지다. 냐다바 누가 냐다바 지라 본다. 그저 봐 지게 멤버들 내셔보다 내 신다 그리고 돈 이나다 가르쳐 로바 지게 처음에 가다 세린이네 이 그거 사람 그거 이렇게 버치를 계산을 하시지. 이거 봐봐도 맞아. 저기 나가서 그런 거지. 무슨 요새 멤버들 도이지도 아야 이 시스템이 해도 되네. 그래서 뭐지 너시 배때리 그래서 뭐 쉬어요. 뭐 이게 버치 지금 있어.
So we conclude the sessions with dedications. We dedicate the roots of virtue accumulated, especially through these Dharma sessions, may be the complete cause for the Dharma to flourish in all directions and for all sentient beings. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to all upholders of Buddha's teaching, holders of Buddha's teachings, mainly His Holiness Dalai Lama. May they live long with excellent health, and may their holy wishes and enlightened activities be accomplished instantaneously and spread in all directions. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to the world peace, and may excellent happiness prevail in the world. And, may the world be free of disaster, wars, conflict, pandemic, disaster, natural disasters, and etc. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to those who pass away, and also those who suffer because of those negative conditions that I mentioned just now. So may their negativities accumulated be totally purified and quickly be freed from suffering and achieve the state of enlightenment as soon as possible. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to those who help others, such as doctors, nurses, and those who help others financially. So may they live long, good health, may their wishes be accomplished and quickly achieve the state of enlightenment. And in particular, we dedicated these roots of virtue to our beloved teacher, Kapsel Lama Zopa Rinpoche. May the holy wishes of Rinpoche be accomplished instantaneously, and may the unmistaken reincarnations of Rinpoche be swiftly returned and continue to turn the wheel of Dharma for the sake of teachings and sentient beings, so that we will have the opportunity to receive teachings from Rinpoche again, just like before. Sabe, Pewa de Tenda, Toa Kuna, Kameda, Cheba, Jizun, Lozan, Java, Yidin, Nimbo, Rindo, Ziji, Jo, Janju, Senjo, Rimbo, Jema, Cheba, Jiku, Jikeba, Yama, Meba, Yakin, Kondo, Pewa, Jo, Chita, Chimba, Dan, Kondo, Sopo, De, Ante, Jinde, Ragu, Cheso, Dalo, Jekiwa, Tita, Tangje, Rapto, Tongi, Tawa, Rimbo, Jema, Cheba, Jiku, Jikeba, Yama, Meba, Yankone, Kondo, Pewa, Jo, Tawa, Rimbo, Jema, Cheba, Jiku, Jikeba, Meba, Yankone, Kondo, Pewa, Jo, Nije, Sundo, Jubi, Lang, Chije, Seze, Kanji, Tenru, Chana, Pipo, Tinsinga, Zola, Soa, De, So, Shede, Lu, Jo, Kande, Bende, Manduba, Kande, Jume, Sambe, Yijino, Kande, Zume, Tinsinga, Zola, Soa, De, So, Du, Shede, Lu, Jo, Teba, Jensen, Yerang, Zo, Tozang, Jewa, Yansik, Juba, Jerang, Shingi, Jero, Badu, Tide, Meba, Tube, Zo, Tube, Tide, Ripo, Jishidang, Tube, Jebe, Walan, Yang, Bishu, Sebe, Koja, Jetsun, Jetsun, Alfonso, Wadi, Tube, Blangi, Tube, Kojibo, Siri, Dindang, Manchu, Tua, Yidula, Jidu, Teba, Sebe, Moto, Shiva, Tide, Bangda, Chedu, Chedu, Shinandang, Senam, Tuge, Nabo, Jebu, Debe, Yandu, Sabe, Zuki, Sange, Jipe, Yu, Awi, Kuye, Shinkan, Liban, De, Wama, Yu, Sine, Chile, Sewa, Tite, Gato, Shape, Side, Batu, Yu,